What's up, everybody? Nick from Based here. People always ask me, they go, Nick, I just got a bass. What do I need? What are the essentials for being a bass player in the modern age? Let's talk about it. Whole lot of options here and a whole lot of ways we could go with this, but for the sake of the video, let's assume you have a bass. Maybe it's terrible, maybe it's a custom shop vendor, whatever the case, let's assume you have a bass. What do you need next? First off, and genuinely the most important, a tuner. You are nothing without being in tune. I'm telling you, the mute function is good, but you could even go a clip-on tuner. Regardless, you have to get a tuner. Polytune, it's a tried and true classic. You could go high-end and go Peterson, which I love. They make a mini that's fantastic. Peterson's always gonna be good. Maybe you're using a modeler and you just need to make sure that that modeler has a good tuner. I'm looking at you, Helix. My HX Stomp tuner was terrible. Am I the only one that has this experience? Regardless, the Quad Cortex tuner is amazing. I'm sure the Fractals is fine. Whatever the case, you gotta have a tuner. I'm dead set on it. This is a non-negotiable, kids, okay? You hear me? A clip-on is fine. However, eventually you're gonna need something else. These don't always read in loud rooms. You need something a little more intense, a little more dedicated to tuning. That's why I like to always point people to at least a Polytune. Number 2, good cables and long cables. This right here is a Mogami Gold. I'm not saying that you have to get a Mogami Gold. What I am saying is you should get a cable that has a lifetime warranty. You need a few cables. The cable that comes in a lot of packs is always flimsy. Those cables always go bad, especially right around here. So if you're really gonna be gigging and really winding it up, putting in your bag, taking it out, playing the gig, winding it up, putting your bag, throw it in the car, going home, you need to have something that's good, that can handle the road, and can make it all the way through every gig, and you know it will. There's an episode of The Office where Michael writes in his journal, he says, everybody likes the guy with a stick of gum. Well, everybody likes a guy with a backup cable because you never know who's gonna forget a cable or a strap. That feels like the most forgotten. So always have an extra few cables. Livewire is a great, cheap option, and those are at every Guitar Center in America. I do love the Mogami. I really have trouble with them, and they definitely sound just fine. They're industry grade, and I like them enough. They're completely overpriced and a little bit ridiculous, but you buy them once, you have it forever. Okay, number 3, you need an amp. It could be a combo amp, it could be a head and cab situation like I've got. Whatever the case, you need a way to be heard. This is important. You know, maybe most of your gigs are like a DI, no amps allowed situation. You still need to have an amp, whether it's a practice thing, whether it's a gig thing, whatever the case, you've got to have a way to be heard. A lot of times I'll go play at these smaller bars and I'll be really grateful that I did bring an amp because they won't have a lot of sub support, and selfishly, I'm a bass player. I want to be heard. There's nothing wrong with that. So I like pushing air. Regardless, you've got to have a way to practice at home and hear yourself. You've got to have an option to when you go jam with your buddies, you got to be heard. So maybe it's a Fender Rumble, maybe it's something that came in the kit that you bought the bass with. Whatever the case, you've got to be heard. Now, obviously, I have my preferences. I love this quilter. It's about $800. It's very portable, sounds great, does the job. There's plenty of options out there. Aguilar is always a good way to go. You could go classic and get an Ampeg SVT if you're really looking to build your muscles. Whatever it is, number 3, gotta have an amp if you're a bass player. Hey, oh, by the way, could you subscribe and like? That would be super helpful. Comment, whatever. I appreciate it. I'm so sorry. I don't want to do this, but I have to. It's part of the machine. All right, back to the video. Okay, moving on. Next, you have to have a preamp. Now, I'll put a caveat in here. This could be as simple as owning a DI box or having a DI out of your amp. That will work for now. Eventually, you're going to want a preamp that stands on its own because there are plenty of gigs in the modern age that genuinely do not allow amplifiers. That's okay. That's the world we're living in, and honestly, my back loves that. However, you have to have a preamp DI situation. Now, there's many ways you can go. Like a rack. This Sans amp is a classic. This VT bass sounds amazing. It's got awesome drive, a ton of tone shaping, and you can really start to dial in your tone of this thing. Held off of my country touring board, my Jadfir Capo is a preamp DI, and it sounds amazing. It's got a 1/4 inch out, it's got an XLR out straight to front of house. Everything I need to do, I can get done with this Jadfir Capo. At the same time, this HX Stomp also would do that job. Most modelers have a DI out function, or they can send a balanced out that you can give straight to a DI box, and that's great. As long as you have a way to shape your signal just a little bit to give to front of house. That way it sounds awesome. It could be just a DI. I love the Rupert Neve Designs DI. Also really like the sound of the radial DI. There's plenty of options, but I think it's really important that as a bass player, you have an option and a way to get your own sound to front of house. Super important. Next up, and number 5 on our list, in-ear monitors. Like I said earlier, there's tons of venues that don't even allow an amp. So I think it's really important that we as bass players have a way to hear ourselves. If we're using in-ear monitor packs, you've got to have a way to hear yourself out of that, and you can't just plug in your old Skull Katie headphones. You guys remember those? Is that a throwback? Apple headphones with the cable, you're gonna blow them. They're not gonna sound good. They're not gonna reflect your bass at all. And you want to monitor your sound. You wanna know what you sound like. These are all Clairs. They are molded to my ears. They sound fantastic. They've been great. They cost me about $650 because I bought them on sale. They're the 4 drivers. I like them. I wish I would have gone for the 6 drivers. There are plenty more expensive options. Future Sonics, 64, JH Audio, and a ton of new brands that I don't even know about. However, you don't need molds. There are plenty of cost-effective options like this one, which is somewhere between $20 and $60 on Amazon. It could be in your mailbox tomorrow if you order it right now. I've linked it down below. I've used these for many a gig. They're totally fine. I'm not saying they're gonna change your life, but they're gonna get the job done. Also, I had Shure SE215s for a while. They're fine. I would probably get the KZs over the 215, save the money. They're not that much better. If you're not gonna get molds, I'd say just stick to the KZs, unless somebody in the comments has a better option. Would love to hear it if there's something that's knocking the KZs out for the price. It's just hard to argue with value. Those are my 5 essentials. What are your 5 essentials? Did I miss something? I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you're learning bass. Stick with it. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. If you have any questions, drop those in the comments. I would love topics that you guys pick for us. If I can be of help in any way, I would love that because I had a lot of awesome people that helped me along the way. Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate you here at Bass. Everybody say, hey, Carson in the comments. He's gonna love it. Miss seeing him. Everybody, peace. See you on the next one.